Hello one and all. I always know when I'm properly live when I get the notification from my personal socials that I am live. So there we go. Lovely. Just wait for everything to catch up and people to arrive. Ooh. Facebook's been quick. Perfect. So hello one and all, welcome back to another Temple Talk with me, Rebecca Burgess, the creatrix and mother priestess of the Temple of Cornwall. And among many other things, I'm also an oracle or a channeler. And this is what this Temple Talk will all be about this evening. About what is channeling, my personal experiences of it, which is always a lovely fun story. Ways that you know, things that might indicate that you're a natural born oracle yourself, and also ways to enhance your natural oracleship, channeling skills. I do use the terms oracle and channeling interchangeably, so don't get confused. That's just me using the English language as I please. So if you've not been to one of these Temple Talks before, these are a relatively new feature. I'm new to being committed to these Temple Talks, I think is the best way to phrase this. So nearly every Friday that I can, I go live on Facebook and on Instagram. And these are all saved as replays on the respective socials and also uploaded to YouTube as well for you to catch there. And during these Temple Talks, we pick a different topic every week, although me being me, I usually like to give a lot of information. So there's usually two-parters every week. So this is part one of channeling. I fully presume and expect there will be a part two. And yeah, so I talk to you for about half an hour, 45 minutes if I've really got something to say. And for that final half hour or 15 minutes, I leave the space, I leave you alone with the sacred altar here at the Temple of Cornwall, the high altar of myths, mystery and magic, as I like to refer to it. And this is just time for you at the end to kind of perhaps put into practice anything we've spoken about, just meditate, just rest, journal, whatever it is that you want to do in that time is fully yours to do. And then, like I said, you can always catch these on replay, and you can also catch all the previous ones as well. If you're on Instagram, it's on IGTV. If you're on Facebook, I think you can search by hashtag Temple Talks. And if you're on YouTube, just find the channel there. And at the end as well, I do, where is it? This flame? That one is the Sacred Flame of Cornwall, and I will light a tea light for you all from that this evening. And if you do want to have your own Sacred Flame of Cornwall, then the link to do so, to get more information about how to do that, is just in the, again, Facebook, in the description of this video. And if you're on Instagram, then it's in the bio for this profile. Yeah, it's just a way for me to get your address so I can ship it out to you, as long as you're mainland UK. So let's take a couple of deep breaths in with our cups of tea and just get settled into the energies. Has anyone else been really bad with time today? Like, to me, it feels about 4 o'clock in the afternoon or 11 PM. It does not feel like 6 PM to me right now. This has nothing to do with anything, by the way, but if you're on Instagram, you can see the new skirt that this is thrifted, it's just charity shop shopping, isn't it? That I got from Helston, one of their charity shops. It's a genuine American line dancing skirt, and I'm obsessed with it. I am obsessed with it. It needed some fixing up, which I've done. Oh, I'm in love with it. So I'll be wearing this 24/7. But channeling, let's get to the quarter business, not my skirt. So channeling and oracling, again, I always preface everything that I teach and help others with a disclaimer that this is my experience, this is my definition, if you like, of oracling and channeling through the lens of my life, through how I view things. So do feel free to interpret from my teachings what you want, what resonates with you, what doesn't, and freely explore those things. I am never the one to be mad that you don't believe what I believe. That's when things start getting a wee bit cultish, in my opinion. So channeling, oracling, whatever you want to call it, this to me is where we it can be embodiment, and I'll come to that perhaps in part 2 or at the end of this section, we'll see. But it's about opening yourself up from, if you're a woman in a feminine, or in a feminine body, from womb or womb space to the cosmos, to the divine. Is opening yourself up as a literal channel for the divine messages, divine answers to come through. Sometimes this can come through in words. You'll see many oracles who sit there and kind of, that their features might change if they're very physically gifted oracles, and their voice will change. They'll take on the voice and the tone of whoever it is they are channeling. But that's not always the case. Sometimes you can channel movement. Dances can come through. Songs music doesn't have to be vocal songs. It can be musical songs on, if you're gifted on the piano or whatever it may be. It can be artwork. Have I got it here? Oh, yes, I do. Bear with me. So I am in no way, shape or form a gifted artist. I even, sorry, flashed all there, really refrain from calling myself an artist. And what I'm about to show you is not a Da Vinci by any means. But this was during the first lockdown. I was spent a lot of time intensely channeling as I was, conceiving and creating and birthing the Temple of Cornwall as it is at the moment. And as I was doing that, I randomly started to watercolour this, which I think Facebook, there you go. So lots of different shapes and colours. There you go, Instagram. There you go. Lovely. Kind of get the gist. And that was my first time channeling that. I'm really not sure what it means. When I've shown it to guests and other people that have come around, they interpret different things from it, which is really nice. So it might just be a take what you need kind of piece. Is that going to fall on me? No. Good. Yeah, so there's many different mediums of channeling, of oracling. And I tend to be either through poetry or through vocal words, or singing and chanting as well. And I use it as a form of divination, but it's a very intense form of divination. I wouldn't say it's the same as just getting your tarot cards out or just getting your pendulum out. It's hi Vanessa, thanks for joining us. Yeah, channeling is something that's very, to me this is when I really kind of realise the full depth of priestess work, or priest or priestess, whatever your circumstances may be. That's when I really understand the full depth of my being, I suppose, is when I'm channeling or oracling. And it's because there's a process that I teach in the mystery school, which Vanessa, hello, you'll be learning that next year, I think it is. But it's where you can open yourself, you physically open up your energy centres to receive. You open them all upwards rather than outwards, to receive the messages, to receive the answers, the voices, whatever it is that need to be received. And yeah, let them kind of flow out through you then. So imagine, your crown chakra opening up, facing upwards, and then all your other chakras or energy centres, if we don't want to appropriate any other cultures, kind of opening upwards as well, and feeding that energy down to your womb or your lingam space, to really then cultivate that the physicality of that message, or the answers that you're receiving there as well. So let me check Facebook for comments. It's so difficult reading the comments on Facebook because they're always so small, and I don't want to wear my glasses in these because I get like a lot of, you see, like reflection. God, I can't talk. Reflections from the ring lights that I've got. Oh, my dog's made an appearance. Hello, do you want to say hello to everyone? You were very popular last week. Come here. Come here. Oh, here she is. Here's Betty, the little Temple Talks mascot. Do you want to say hi? They can kind of see you. That's all good. Yeah, so to me, that's what channeling is at its very basic form, is just energetically opening yourself up to connect with the divine in ways that you don't usually in your day-to-day spiritual practices. To me, this is a very deep way of existing with the existing with the divine, which is very profound. It's very, I always struggle to describe how it feels, because to me it's very cosmological. It's very cosmological. It's something that takes you way out into the stratospheres of existence. Yes, it does. Way out there. Way out into the stratospheres of existence, but that is also so innately within you. For me, it's very much takes me outwards and simultaneously inwards to my womb space, my inner still point. It takes me to that place. So I hope that goes some way to describing how it feels to be devoted to channeling and oracling, but it's a very lovely way to spend your time, I must say. And before, I mentioned embodiment slightly, and I want to talk a little bit more about this. To me, they're like fragments of the same skill. So you can oracle without embodying, but you can't embody without oracling. Are we all catching my drift? Hopefully so. Ready, are you? You comfy? You're not sure? Okay. Yes, so when you embody that's, you know, if you've seen any other oracles. So, Sally Pullinger, she is a fantastic oracler, channeler. She really, where are you going? There you go. Oh God. Are you okay? Are you good? Because that was quite dramatic. Okay. Sally Pullinger is phenomenal. Do look her up. She does run a course, like an online course. I think she's running again, all about how to oracle or deepen your skills of oracleship. So do look at her. But when she channels, sometimes her face structure will change. Sometimes, you know, her voice always changes, and she is amazing what she does. And she's a really good example of one form of embodiment when we channel. Another experience I've had of witnessing an embodiment was when I was training with the Sacred Celebrants Academy. Hello, Dawn, Mandy and Charlia. And I got to, I won't ruin it too much for the people that are going on that course, but there was a moment where I got to witness an embodiment of the Lady of Avalon, and the person who was channeling, was embodying, was not that person anymore. That they had just, this is going to sound potentially, don't say triggering, but concerning for some of you, and it's not. Just come on an adventure with me. That this person who was embodying had somehow emptied themselves, emptied their physical vessel of themselves, of their soul. Quite shamanic, really. That, you know, they'd kind of, Elvis has left the building and consciously invited in the Lady of Avalon to take over instead. And they really were. They moved different. They spoke different. They, you know, the Lady of Avalon danced, whereas the person who was the physical vessel wasn't particularly a dancer. They were all just, it was amazing. Yeah, again, it's difficult to put into words how powerful it is to witness that with other people. But also, don't think that to channel you have to embody. Like I said before, you can have, you know, you can be an oracle without embodying, but you can't embody without oracling. Yes. Vanessa, oh my God, that sounds incredible. It was so incredible. It was a really life-changing moment for me, witnessing that in somebody, and knowing that everything just made a lot of sense there. It was a big day. It was a lovely day full of ceremony and really profound ritual, and it kind of culminated in like I said, this person embodying the Lady of Avalon, and it blew my tiny little human mind. It was amazing. It was beautiful. So yeah, that's the difference, or the difference, kind of the similarities, differences between embodying and channeling, in my humble opinion. So that's what channeling is, that's what embodying is. So now let's talk about my experiences of it, because people always, I love it when people ask me questions so that I can share something with them. This is a question that I get quite a lot when I talk about channeling, is what have I experienced, how have I done it? So I've always, I'm sure many of you can relate to this because you're watching this video, you've been drawn here for a reason. I desperately need a sip of dandelion tea, do excuse me. If you told me years ago that I thought dandelion tea would be the best thing in the world, I would have laughed, but oh my God, it's so nice. Yes, my experiences. So ever since I was a little girl, really, there's been, looking back now, I can see them as like indicators that I was a channeler or an oracle. But the biggest moment that literally had it confirmed to me, there could be no denying it whatsoever, was when I was doing the Sacred Celebrants Academy, the Sacred Celebrant course that I just mentioned. It had been a particularly intense weekend, as they all were, to be honest, in a lovely way. And I'm trying to think what it was. It might have been the baby naming ceremony. Either way, it'd been a lovely weekend, and I was driving back on the Sunday afternoon, which I didn't usually do. I'd wanted to come back Monday mornings so that I could ground and you know, be present for the rest of my week. But for some reason I had to come back on the Sunday. So Glastonbury from where I live is about 2.5, 3 hours. The course ended at, I don't know, say 5, 6 p.m. And I was driving home, and those of you that are familiar with Cornwall, you'll know this area quite well. So on the A30, which is basically like the big road that runs through Cornwall, because we don't have a motorway, which is quite nice. But yeah, the big road that runs through Cornwall, you come to the moorland and Bodmin relatively quickly. And on there's this big lake that I always presumed was Dosmerry Lake when I was a kid, but it's not. It's a private fishing lake, but it is very, you drive past it and it's, you come round this big corner and it's sweeping views of the moorland, and there's this giant lake that just looks untouched, like magic is so potent there. The energies are amazing. Appropriately enough, it's in a bit of land called Temple. It's just called Temple, which goes a long way to describing the energies. Well, my fringe just done, it's gotten huge. Which goes a long way to describe the energies of that place. It is very sacred, very profound. And I was coming round the sweeping corner, driving my little car, and all of a sudden something just took over me. I was still in my body, but it was like, I mean, for the kind of the shamans amongst you, you will be aware of this. Hi Katie, thanks for joining us. You'll hear me refer to shamans quite a lot now that you've planted that in my mind. That made a lot of sense when we spoke. So, oh yes. Yeah, so quite shamanically, appropriately, that you should join us now. I kind of I was still in my body, but barely. You know, I was still, you know, consciously able to drive and pull over quite quickly. But yeah, it's like I took a step back, and that this being just came through me, this deity just came through me. And it, looking back now, it was quite odd that it did this. It formally introduced itself to me, which it had never done before, because this was the spirit of Cornwall that I was channeling all of a sudden. So I have been very, very familiar with this deity since, got time immemorial, but this lifetime since I was a baby, really. I was being bathed in buckets in muddy Cornish fields from a very young age. So I was very well acquainted with it. But it, you know, very formally introduced itself to me. And I won't be able to share what it said in the beautiful way that it did, but it was along the lines of, you know, sweet child, you were born to be my priestess. You were born to create this temple. You and I will go forth and create this space for others. You will train others. They will come in. And it gave me this whole big kind of beautiful divine blueprint for the Temple of Cornwall and my personal future and development with it as well. And that was like, yeah, my first big experience of what I would call proper oracling or channeling. And it was really profound. It was, like I said, I'd pulled over into a subway car park of all places. So I'd managed to, still in view of the beautiful lake though. So I'd managed to kind of officially ground myself, then, you know, get out of the car and like stand barefoot on the grass and kind of come back to reality and let myself fully come back into my body and invite the spirit of Cornwall to leave my physical body. And yeah, just drive home in awe of what had happened. And this was around the time, I mean, the course that I was on at the time gave me a lot of activations and initiations into some very amazing things. That was all making me basically ready to become a priestess of Cornwall and the mother priestess of the Temple of Cornwall as well. And it was, from that moment, it took me a little while to get used to it. It didn't scare me when it was happening by any means, but the idea of consciously triggering it again kind of scared me. Because at that point, I have been sober for 8 years, so that felt like, I don't know, willingly losing control again. That felt a bit like cheating, perhaps. But it was, I quickly got over that. And it was beautiful to then kind of bear witness to the messages that were coming through for me personally and for the creation of the spirit of Cornwall as well. So that's, like I said, some of my experiences. I now actually offer channeling services as a divination option on our Etsy store as well, and through Patreon actually, for all the students of our mystery school that are currently watching. Your Patreon, your free Patreon channeled messages will be with you next week, which is really exciting. The first ones for your course this year. So yeah, it's something that is regularly part of my priestess practice now, and it's quite a big part of the Temple of Cornwall as well. Everything that I teach either has previously been channeled or is currently being channeled, including all the meditations that we offer and all sorts. It's just, it's a very big part of my life, and I can't imagine what my priestess life would look like if it didn't involve oracling. So kind of tips that you yourself might be a natural born oracle. What are they? Again, let me have a sip. So, knowing you're a natural born oracle is something that when you kind of decide to give yourself that label. By the way, when, I know some people get very upset at the idea of labels, especially in the spiritual sense. I'm a firm believer, this is going off topic just for a second, but it will be well worth it, believe me. I'm a firm believer that, yes, we shouldn't be like egoically attached to the, oh, I'm an oracle, I'm a priestess, oh my God. In that sense, yes, that's wrong. But in the sense of affirming to yourself, I am oracle, I am priestess, the resonance that those words create within your body will have a palpable effect upon you physically and spiritually, energetically. When part of how I get into my priestess self, which isn't that different from my normal self, if I'm being honest, but when I'm sitting down to do priestess work, to sit there, part of what I do is just affirm to myself, I am priestess, I am a priestess of Cornwall. And it's, like I said, the resonance of the word priestess will, align me with that energy, and that's whatever energy I need it to be. So I was it a one-on-one? I think I was in a one-on-one with one of my Priestess of Cornwall students the other day, and they're asking how to pronounce Kanonos, which is one of the gods that I connect you to during that course. And I can't remember how they pronounced it. It might have been Katie, actually. I can't remember how you pronounce it. Cernius? I can't remember, but it wasn't how I pronounce it. Which was fine. And I'm a firm believer that however you intuitively pronounce something, the energy that creates around you and in you is the energy that you need from that, if that makes sense. So how I pronounce Kanonos, the resonance that has, the effect that has on not only my physical cells, but the energy around me and in me, will bring to me the kind of qualities that I need from Kanonos' energy. Whereas if somebody else pronounces it, am I making sense? If somebody else pronounces it differently, they're getting the energy they need from that deity, that being. Are we getting me? I hope we are. Yes, I'm not using oracle in the term of, oh my God, look at me, I'm so amazing, which we all are. But yeah, it's more the resonance that these words have on you. So now we've got that little disclaimer out the way. How to kind of tell that you're an oracle. So, sorry, my dog was doing something really weird. You okay, girl? Oh, your tummy scratches. Do you want to come say hello again? They liked you last week, I promise. No, you want belly rubs. Okay. Oh, the life of a dog owner. Oh, you're so cute. Yes, so, sorry. Tips that you are or ways to know that you're a natural born oracle. It's one of those things that when you've given yourself or accepted that that's what you are, you can look back on your life and go, I should have known. How did it take me 20 odd, 30 odd years to guess that I'm an oracle? Daddy, don't itch yourself. I'll put you in your compression suit again and that will be fine. I don't want to, it won't be fun. Come here. Oh, she's come back to say hello. Yes, so it's what, when you look back, you think, oh God, how did I not know before? But it's, if you were one of those children who were, again, so deeply connected to the invisible energies that were around you. I use the term invisible, you might have physically seen them, but at least in tune with the energies of the unseen, what was beyond the veil. That's a really good indicator that, hello, that channeling is something that you're going to be very adept at, very natural at. And when I say, seeing or sensing things that were beyond the veil, I mean in an almost tangible, physical way. If you've got memories of yourself somehow being physically connected to the other side, then that's a really good way, that's a really good indicator. Another one is if you had any interactions with what you would call paranormal, but now looking back, you can, know that it was a deity or a spirit guide or an ancestor, whatever. When you're a little kid and you've just learned what a ghost is, and it's all kind of scary because you've probably learned about it from some film that you okay? That you shouldn't have been watching. So then you see this, being in your room, whether it's angelic or ghostly or what, and you run to your parents and cry about the ghost. If you kind of had a few of those experiences, that's an indication that you can more easily and readily connect in with those energies. Oh, did you just burp on live? Oh, madam. I'm so sorry, people, if you heard that. You got me burping. Oh, God bless you. Oh, my dog. Come here. You butcher the camera. There you go. Yep, so those experiences as a child, they're really good indicators. And also, oh, am I getting... Oh no, sorry. I thought I was trying to get notifications through about people trying to comment, but it's fine. Whatever. What time are we on? past? Okay. A couple more minutes of talking, then I'll leave you in peace. This will be a part 2, I think. I think I want to do more about... I'll go more into what it is to be a natural born, indicators that you're going to be good at channeling, and then how to kind of enhance those abilities as well. But I'll do that. I think I'm busy next Friday, so 2 weeks this week will probably be the day. But yes, as I was saying, so yes, those experiences as children are really great indicators of being a natural oracle. Vanessa, is there a difference between channeling and just having a deep awareness, relationships with spirits? Ooh, I love that question, Vanessa. So to me, and again, this is just my personal experience of it, there is a difference between channeling and having that kind of inner conversation, if you like. Once you start to develop your own oracleship skills, you'll find that might not be the case for you. I know there's a few priestesses out there who are their way of channeling is having that conversation, and if it's for a client, they'll relay it to the client. But for me, I can feel the difference when I'm just having like an inner conversation with a deity or an energy being, versus when I'm channeling or embodying that being. So just to, please don't burp again, good girl. So that was to my dog, by the way, just in case you're wondering. So when I'm just having that kind of internal conversation, to me, that's it's a lot more casual. Yes, it's from a place of deep connection, but it's not so firmly rooted in my womb space and my inner still point. It's more my crown chakra's open, and it's just for me to be aware of it. It's not, I don't have to relay anything. I don't have to bring anything into physicality. I can just relax into the messages that are coming through for me personally. But when I'm oracling, it's very, I talk about and this is all going to come together, I promise. When I talk about the priestess path, which I'm sure, Vanessa, you've heard me prattle on about plenty, it's that kind of embodying of your priestess self, kind of the all the parts of you that are opposite coming together. And it's almost that sense with the oracling, in the idea that you're connected to the divine and deeply rooted into the physical as well. It's a beautiful amalgamation of the two, which you rarely find in spirituality and priestess work. You tend to either be called to be super grounded or super floaty and out in the ethers, which both are Betty, please don't eat the beeswax candles. Please. Thank you. Sorry, my dog has a penchant for beeswax candles. Anyway, yeah, in spirituality you'll find, people talk a lot about being super grounded or super, up in the ethers, ethers, whatever. But when you're channeling and oracling, it's very a beautiful coming together of the two. It's like a union of the cosmos and the physical. It's very different to me than that kind of internal conversation with a being. I hope that answers your question, Vanessa. Do give me a thumbs up or thumbs down if it has or hasn't, and if it hasn't, I'll do my best to try and re-answer it for you. We need a naughty puppy, a very naughty puppy. You've missed it, guys, but she burped on live before. She's burped and she's trying to eat my beeswax candles. She's having a proper night of it. Hey. So what time are we on? Oh, just gone at 5:30. Lovely. So what was I on? Oh yes, indicators that you are a natural. You're thinking about it, Vanessa. Let me know, and I will. Yeah, let me know what didn't make sense, and I'll try and perhaps maybe a much longer. Yeah, maybe it will be a longer conversation. We can have that longer conversation in our one-on-one on Sunday. If you want, my lovely, just bring it up with me and we'll do it then. So yes, indicators that you're a natural born oracle, like I mentioned, those experiences when you were a child, that they're really strong indicators. But then as you kind of grow and mature, to me, it's always how do you receive messages? And it won't be the same for everyone. Like I was trying to describe to Vanessa before, it's my way of oracling will be very different to your way of oracling. So it's, yeah, that internal conversation might be oracling for you, and that's fantastic and amazing. And it might not be. And then that means we can explore, or you can explore, what channeling is for you. I'll always poke at you for more answers as I think through stuff. That's absolutely fine. Poke at me all you want. This is just a side note from everybody else watching. Vanessa, lovely, if you do have any questions for me, don't feel like it has to wait until our one-on-ones. You can just message me or email me or pop your questions in our private Facebook group for the course. And myself or the other tutors will be more than happy to help you, as I'm sure with the other students if they have the answers as well. So yeah, don't feel like it has to wait to our one-on-one every 6 weeks or so. Do just send them my way whenever you like, not a problem. So yes, as we grow and mature into our, older selves, our current selves, Facebook has been really weird. I'm sorry to keep getting distracted, guys. Oh, Dawn, lovely Dawn, hello. Sorry, it was sending me, I was getting like half a notification through. Oh, lovely Dawn, hello. Yes, so as we grow and mature, away from children, perhaps into like prepubescent and beyond, this is when we begin to really kind of tune into how we receive messages from the divine. Now, everybody has their own preferred way and their own way that they're very natural and gifted at. So for me, for example, oracling is mine, but for you, you could be exceptional at reading tarot cards or casting runes or bone scrying or anything like that. Or even, like Vanessa mentioned, just sitting there and having that internal conversation with a deity or a being. And that is, you will discover that as you grow older. Now that may, and use the term older loosely, because I was very lucky and fortunate to be brought up in a spiritual household that didn't discourage this kind of discovery, whereas you may not have had the same privileges as that. So you may have had to, your path might be a few years behind because you had to, do it in secret or whatever. So don't, don't worry if that is just now that you're getting to that point. That's more than fine. My goodness, you're here. Welcome. How long are we doing for time? Another 10 minutes of talking, then I'll leave you in silence and still space. If I don't rattle on too much, this might just be a one-parter. Who knows? That'll be the day. So as you grow older, you begin to really learn about how you receive messages from the divine. I mean, how listening to the wind and the voices and the songs that come through the wind is a way of receiving messages from the divine. It doesn't have to be some big ritual every time. It's lovely to do the rituals, don't get me wrong, but there's a time and a place for everything. Sometimes just sitting beneath a tree and listening to the birds sing is divine connection enough. You get all the answers that you need from that. Hi Vida, thanks for joining us. So yeah, sorry, like I said, as you grow older, you get into that space of knowing, or learning rather, constantly learning about your preferred divination connection. Betty, don't do that, girl. If you itch too much, you're going to get sore skin again. Yes. And then from that kind of connection, or learning of yourself and how you want to receive those messages, you will learn. Let me backstep a little bit. So yeah, when you're growing older and you're beginning to explore different tools of divination, different ways that you like to receive messages from the divine, through that you'll begin to understand and know whether oracleship is for you. And the ways that you will know that is through kind of a awe that keeps coming to me. Because like I said, most of what I do is channeled in the profession, in the professional sense. Most of what I do is channeled. And annoyingly, all that's coming to me is that you'll just have an inner knowing that this is what you'll do. And whilst that is very helpful, it's not helpful at the same time. So you will get this sense of some, perhaps you'll try tarot cards or some other form of divination, regularly practiced or not, and find that it goes deep enough, but not as deep as you feel you're capable of. Do excuse me, I need another sip of a dandelion tea. It won't go as deep as you feel yourself capable of. That there'll always be that sense of, you draw the Lovers card and you're like, well, I already knew that. I already knew that energy. This isn't telling me anything new. And then, knowing that there was a deeper message there that you can't get to through tarot, the runes, the trees, whatever it might be. Knowing, did you want attention again? Do you want to come on my knees so I can do both at the same time? Come here. Ooh, good girl. So, you can explore those different things and knowing that there's more depth to be had there. Now, that's not to say that those tools that you've tried that aren't giving you that depth don't work. They totally do. There's a time and a place, in my life personally and for my divination clients, there's definitely a time and a place where they just want a tarot card reading. Perhaps then another month they'll want a full-on channeling session. It all varies on kind of the intensity that they're looking for, that you're looking for in your individual practices as well. So yeah, those two experiences as a child, and that kind of wanting to deepen the messages that you receive from the divine but not quite knowing how, those are really strong clues that you're a natural born oracle, that wanting to deepen. And also, please don't think that just perhaps you're very happy with tarot or a different form of divination. Don't feel, I'm not saying that those things aren't as deep. I mean, if they don't go deep for you personally, if they don't go deep enough for the individual, then that's a sign of being a natural born oracle, not tarot's really shallow, doesn't go as deep. Oh my God, that's not at all what I mean. Tarot can absolutely go to the very core of your soul, call you out, and then just leave you with it. So yeah, don't feel like I'm dissing on anything else. I'm absolutely not. Yes, I think I've answered. Oh no, I haven't. Yes, this will be a part 2 then, because I will like I said, I think it's 2 weeks today will be the next temple talk, which will now be a part 2 of channeling, and that will be more about how to enhance your own abilities to channel, and perhaps just, you know, expanding your intuition and opening that up in general. So for the final 20 minutes of this temple talk, in a moment I will light the sacred flame, or I will light a tea light from the sacred flame of Cornwall, in honour of you all watching and joining in. And this will be your, like I said, I'll leave it running for about 20 minutes. This will be your time to just meditate into the temple energies, the Cornish energies here, and just do with that time what you want. It is for you. If you want to perhaps journal on what you think are past oracling experiences, then you can do that. If you want to just have a bit of a nap for 20 minutes, you can do that. I'll come back at the end to kind of wake you all up, as it were. I will talk Vida. I find there are seasons in my life. So I really need my glasses. Oh my God. Every time. I find there are seasons in my life that different modes of divination are more pronounced. Do you find that as well? Absolutely. Yes. That makes so much sense. Yes, totally. So, I mean, this time of year, like coming up to Samhain, I love nothing more than to like deep dive into an oracling session. That this is a really potent time for that for me. But when it's, you know, midsummer, life is blooming everywhere, it's, yeah, I just, perhaps like an OM casting or something. It's, you know, for me personally, not for my clients. It really does change, yeah, depending where I am at my life as well. Yeah, Vanessa agrees as well. Yeah, so it is something that's almost, perhaps, I can never say this word, cyclical? A cycle. You get my drift. Yeah, it is something that, you know, we will ebb and flow with, I suppose. There will be preferred methods as we go. That's a really interesting point, Vida. Thank you for bringing that up, lovely. That's been really insightful. I'd never thought of it like that, but you're very, very right. Yeah, so for the last 20 minutes, like I said, it is your time to do what you want with, whether you just want to go away and carry on with your evening, or stay here and listen to the lovely music, journal on perhaps experiences you've had of channeling, just meditate, just relax, whatever you want. But I will light a tea light in honour of all you watching, all you lovely, lovely souls and beloveds of mine, and place it on the altar here at your Facebook at the Temple of Cornwall. And at the end of the 20 minutes, or 15 minutes now, I will come back and I will close the space, send you all on your merry way for the day. So I will leave the shot just for a second to make sure that you can still all see everything, and if not, then I will take my cup of tea with me. My goodness. Please don't drink that, Betty. Good girl. So can you all see that? Okay. Yes. Hello. Vanessa, I must go back to work. Have a lovely evening. Oh, thank you. Enjoy your work, my lovely. I will speak to you on Sunday, and enjoy the rest of your day. Much love to you, Vanessa. So for those of you that are staying, before me I have the sacred flame of Cornwall, and I light a tea light in honour of all of you souls who bear witness to yourselves and your journey. I light this to help you on your healing path, or just towards some deeper sense of understanding and knowing of yourself. And I place this candle here on the altar of myths, mystery and magic at the Temple of Cornwall. Ready? Come on, we're leaving in a second. So my lovelies, I will leave you with this energetic space for about 15 minutes now. So enjoy yourselves, and I will see you soon. Hello again, everyone. So, I hope you've all enjoyed your 20 minutes or so of meditation and ruminating. And that, I'm afraid, brings our temple talk for this week to a close. So like I said, this will probably be a part 2 now. Probably not next Friday, but maybe, who knows. You can either check the events page on the website or just watch my stories in the week. I'll be chatting on about them there, I'm sure. So my lovelies, thank you so much to everyone that joined us, whether live or, it's fringe, my God, whether live or in one of the replays. And thank you so much for being here, for bearing witness to the parts of yourself that are intrigued by channeling and oracling. That's a wonderful thing to do and to be. So Instagram, I'll say goodbye to you first. Much love and blessings to you all. Goodbye, beloveds. I will see you soon.